I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com, and today's question I got through email was, will I suffer from anxiety when I stop drinking, when I quit drinking alcohol? First thing that came to my mind was, are you already suffering from anxiety? When I stopped, before I stopped, the reason why I stopped was because of the amount of anxiety I was going through as a result of my drinking, right? So I was feeling anxious about fucking every part of my life, I was feeling like was sort of heading down the tubes, My relationship with my son, with my partner, with my family, with my friends, what I was doing in my business and my personal life, all these things were causing me anxiety. I think one of the biggest things was my health. When you start getting pains in your stomach, when you start waking up during the night and you think you're having a heart attack at 3 o'clock in the morning, that's a very anxious, anxiety causing problem, So, you have to first think about the anxiety that you're going through now at this moment, right? And then think, well, if I take the alcohol out of it, then what am I going to go through once I stop, So make those comparisons. I know you've got no idea the amount of anxiety that you're going to go through, but neither do I. I can't tell you that. So all you can do is be your own judge, and hopefully by sort of assessing your anxiety now while you're drinking, you can give you something to compare it with once you stop, right? You're never going to know what anxiety you're going to go through until you actually stop anyway. So another area is that, like I say, I had anxiety while I was drinking. My drinking was causing me anxiety. But I was also drinking to cover up the anxiety, right? So it was like a vicious circle, You drink to cover up the anxiety, but your drinking actually causes the anxiety, which you then drink to cover up, which then causes more anxiety, which you then drink to cover up, and on and on and on it goes. So that's another area that you have to think about. Alcohol has been a part of our lives from day one, right? Personally, alcohol has been a part of our lives, at least from when we were legal to drink, right? We could start to drink, for many of us, well before that, So it's very difficult to remember. I can hardly remember anything from back in those days, when I was 13 or 14, when I first started drinking. I didn't drink heavily then. It wasn't until later in my teens that I started drinking heavily, once I had the money to do it. And once you were legal, it would have been very difficult. It's very difficult for any child to drink heavily unless they've got, very bad parents. People, they've got a way of being able to drink without the parents knowing, for instance, or when their parents know that the parents don't really care. That's a sad situation, but it happens. So most people don't really start drinking heavily until they're in their late teens, until they can legally do it, or until they go away to college and they can do it. So they're staying at their mate's house overnight, and that's basically the only times that I used to get drunk before I was legal, was when I could get away with it without my parents finding out. But the point is that throughout your life, you've just got used to drinking. You've got used to drinking to socialize, to relax, as a tool for whatever it is that you're using it for. There's a lot of general tools, the general reasons why we use it, the general uses for alcohol, our uses in inverted commas, but this is something that we've got used to over our lifetimes, right? I cannot remember, as I said, to when I first started drinking, much around that time. I find it difficult remembering many of the times afterwards because of drinking alcohol. But I think in the normal process of a lifetime, remembering back to when you were young and before you started drinking, I think that's I think a lot of people have problems with that. My point is that once you get to this stage where you decide that alcohol is the cause of many of your problems in life, or that lifestyle is the cause of it, the alcohol is only a part of the lifestyle, and it's the actual lifestyle that has been built up either around the drinking or just as part of, this is our culture, this is our personal culture or our wider culture, or whatever way you want to look at it. We're so used to drinking alcohol at this stage that we don't know what else to do, right? It's become, we have to change a lot of things about our lives in order to get rid of the alcohol, and it makes us uncomfortable in the beginning, so that's going to cause anxiety, definitely. But you've got to push through that, It's the only way that you can get out the other side. And as I said, look, once you stop drinking and you start getting, you've got a few days under your belt, then you've got a week, you've got 2 weeks, you've got a month, you're starting to build experiences of your life without alcohol, right? So without, what it's like to sort of come home every day from work and not drink alcohol. You start to understand what it's like to deal with stress without alcohol, or to deal with your screaming kids, or like an argument down the phone, or whatever it is in life that you've had to deal with. You've gone through a lot of different life events, different moments where alcohol hasn't been a part, and that's all building new experiences. That's why I always say it's so essential to start out this journey with as much preparation as you can, trying to figure out what you're going to do in certain situations, and especially preparing your mind for it, getting your mind into the right framework, into the right way of looking at things from the beginning, that you get that determination, you get that, there is no sort of spontaneous thinking with this, there's going to be times when you have to think spontaneously, right? When you've got no choice about the matter, right? You come upon a situation that you didn't think about, you can't prepare for, and you're going to have to be spontaneous in what you're going to do. But you can still prepare for that, right? You can say, well, like in a certain eventuality, I'm going to do this, or in a certain eventuality, I'm going to do that. And you've done these things in the past, in that past month or whatever it is. You build an experience as you go along, like I say. So the more experience you get, the more you're going to be able to compare afterwards with before. And most of us stop drinking because of the amount of anxiety that we're going through, and the pressure and the stress, and at the end of the day, regardless of what the health problems were, if you didn't give a shit about it, then you wouldn't be stopping. You wouldn't care, and you'd say, well, I don't care about that. We all have to die of something, so might as well be fucked up liver. If you don't care about it, then you're not going to be anxious about it. But if you do care about it, then it's going to cause you fear and stress and anxiety. So surely once you get past that stage, you've stopped drinking, you've stopped doing one of the most damaging things that you've been doing in your life. Once you stop doing that, then surely that anxiety is going to lift, and there are going to be moments when you think, well, is my liver still damaged, right? Is it damaged, and have I caused this and have I caused that, But that's another area where you can deal with, you can start to deal with once you don't have this. I mean, alcohol is such a big influence, it's such a big problem that once you get that out of your system, then you can start to deal with other things. You'll start to uncover other problems, and that's not a bad thing, so long as you don't look at it like it's a big problem, right? You start looking at things, instead of looking at the problems, you look at the solutions, right? So you go, well, alcohol caused me this, right? This is what alcohol has been doing to me, right? I've got rid of the alcohol now, and lo and behold, I found this other thing. Like, for me, I found when I was eating shitty food, I'd start to notice it, because I wasn't covering everything else up with the alcohol anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I noticed when I wasn't exercising, and because I got rid of the alcohol, it put me into a good frame of mind to sort of start thinking, well, what other areas of my life can I look at, what other parts of my life can I improve? Because I'm feeling really good at this stage, so how can I feel even better, And it just starts a whole process. It starts the ball rolling, starts the snowball going down the hill, and you get momentum, and the anxiety will disappear. I guarantee you that, unless you're doing it to yourself and you're thinking about problems and thinking about the alcohol way too much, then the anxiety afterwards is going to be a lot less than it was before. So I wouldn't worry about that, As I say, focus on the goal in front of you, focus on your targets, and focus on how you're going to get there, instead of focusing on what's already gone behind, because what's gone behind you can't do anything about. And if you concentrate on the alcohol, what you focus on expands. So if you focus on the alcohol, then it's going to cause you anxiety. So it's a different type of anxiety when you're focusing on something that you want in your life, rather than focusing on something that you really don't want in your life, if you get my drift. So look, that's it for today. If you have any comments, as usual, leave them down below. Come over to the website and you'll find the audio for this and the transcript. The link's down below for that. You can also sign up to the newsletter. There's a free video course in it for you as soon as you sign up. If you've already signed up and you haven't got the video course, then send me an email to kevin@alcoholmastery.com and I'll get you a link out. Until next time, have a great day, stay safe, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, and do your best to reduce the anxiety and stress in your life. That video course is 80 videos, by the way, and that's all about relaxation and different ways of looking at things, And like, if you get one thing out of the whole video course, it's 8 hours long. There's a book with it as well, so you can flick through the book. If you get one thing out of it, and one way of dealing with your relaxation, or if you get nothing out of the book but it makes you think about something else, some other way that you can relax or de-stress or be less anxious in your life, then it's worthwhile taking a look, and it's absolutely free, so no charge at all. So until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Onwards and upwards.